Hey, welcome back. Sorry it took me so long. I'm just kidding, you guys didn't even know I was gone. Anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to take this. It's been about 10 minutes since then. I want to make sure the video is going to come out halfway decent. And it's not bad. I'm kind of liking this. It's a lot less legwork for, this program than it was for another program I was using for screen recording. So, what are we going to do? We are going to take this guy. Yep, that's me and my 3-year-old at the time. And we're gonna drag this over here. We're gonna drag this over here. We're gonna drag this down here. We're gonna bring this guy over here. And well, hey, how about that? That worked. So, I'm trying to get rid of that annoying clicking sound you guys hear. You know, that. That's just annoying. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to the bottom, and I'm going to do exactly what this says. Multi-layer switch is Vtp server. So we're going to click on this guy, and this guy pops this guy up. This is why I like Packet Tracer. It makes things simple. So I have the interfaces pulled up. I'm going to go command line. I'm going to type in enter a few times. This is the iOS, the Internetwork Operating System. This is the command prompt of Windows, but in Cisco. If anybody is familiar with Linux, this is also Linux based. So, did you need to know that? Probably not. There are 3 different command levels. There is user mode, which is the right caret, which is this guy right there. That indicates user mode. Not a whole lot you can do in user mode. You can type in enable, as you can see right there, to turn on privilege mode. We're going to do that. Enable. If you type in en and hit the tab key, bam, we're in enable. Notice the pound sign is now this question mark. Question mark. A whole lot more commands able to be done. So, remember that VLAN thing I was telling you about? Ta-da! Right there. And then we're going to type config. Notice that not enough letters. Hit the question mark. A couple things you can type in. Hit the F, then tab. T, then tab. We're in global config mode. This is where we actually need to do some work. So we're going to type in, we're going to go Vtp server. Oh, guess what? Vtp mode server. It's already in server mode. It is in server mode by default, so no worries there. Then we're going to type in Vtp domain. We're going to type in Cisco. Type in, see how it goes from null to Cisco? Something that needs to be typed in. Password. Vtp password. Cisco. Done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to type in VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and we're going to type in VLAN 30. Type in name, question mark. Type in HR, VLAN 20, name is sales, and VLAN, and type in name, and we're typing engineering, because that's where I work. I'm an engineer. Yeah, engineering. So then, we type in end to get out of that. Hit enter a couple times. We're going to type in show VLAN. Hey, what do you know? There they are. So, the beautiful thing about that, the VLANs are created. Are they replicating? No, at least they shouldn't be, because we're going to type in this. We're going to type in show spanning tree. VLAN 1. Well, what is that? It's they're not there. Notice the designated ports. Remember what I talked about with them? Designated ports are always pointing away, and this is the root bridge because it doesn't know about these guys because trunking is not enabled yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in And these are your trunk ports. Go figure. So we're typing interface show interface trunk. Nothing's there because they're not trunking. Show IP interface brief. They're down. They're actually up, but they're not trunking. So you type in show interfaces. Actually, let's do show interface status. Show. Oh, that didn't work. Show interface stat. Huh. Okay. We're gonna type in config t, conf t, whatever you want to type in. Interface range fast 0/1 0/1 2. Type in switchport trunk encapsulation .1q. Switchport mode trunk. Now that everything will die, and then it will come back up. Now that they are in trunking mode. End. We're going to come in and we're going to we're going to type in this. We're going to type in spanning tree mode rapid. This is, notice how it says PVST, and this is PBST, rapid per VLAN spanning tree. Good stuff. So this will also be, we won't make this the root bridge because of the fact that, well, it's not going to have anything connected to it that's going to need it to be a root. So this will not be the root bridge. So what we're going to do now is we're going to type in end, and then we're type in show spanning tree. Guess what? There's more available now. Notice how that works, huh? Now let's see, VLAN 30, and there you have it. They're all forwarding. Now, that being said, now what we need to do, notice that 32,768. Well, it's actually 32,798. Why is that? You just told me it's everything's priority is this. Well, you take the bridge priority and add the VLAN number to it. System ID extension is 30. System ID extension is the VLAN ID number. That there makes it a 798. It adds it to the 768. That's how you get that. The hello timer, every 2 seconds it says a hello. What it does is it at max age 20 seconds. And at 20 seconds, if it doesn't hear anything, it just stops working. Actually, I need to go back through and remember exactly what that is. That stuff is all tunable. So now that we have that configured, show interface trunk. Hey, what do you know? They're .1q, they're trunking, native VLAN is 1. On Cisco devices with .1q tunneling enabled, you need to have the native VLANs have to match. A native VLAN is whatever you make it. By default, it's VLAN 1. If you do not have the native VLAN set, it will show up as a native VLAN mismatch. And anytime a VLAN, if the native VLAN is allowed through across the trunks from switch to switch, you could have a leak from one VLAN to another, which would be really bad. Now, the one thing that I don't like about Packet Tracer, which I think they should do, is the pruning. And I'll explain that here in just 1 second when I get to the other switches here. I'm going to type in write, and now it saves it. The CCNA approved Cisco way of doing is copy run start. Does the same thing. So there it goes. It's saved. Saved twice actually. So I'm going to close that out. We're going to click on this guy. Bring him over. And we're going to say command line. We're going to type in enable. We're going to do show VLAN. Hey, it's not replicating. Do you have any idea why? I do. Config T. Type in Vtp Mode client, because everything by default is in server. Type in Vtp Mode. Their domain is Cisco, and Vtp password is Cisco as well. Done. So now that that's done, we should be able to go in and do a do show VLAN. Hey, it's amazing, they're there because they're in the same domain, like I said. and there is a spanning tree. If you do show spanning tree, and Control U erases the line, end, show span, and guess what? There they all are. And now, I know I added a third VLAN, so I'll add a third device, and each one will be in a different VLAN. So what I'll do now is I'll do show interface trunk, and you notice how there's only one trunk, and that's fast 1, because fast 2, or 12 in this case, on the other side is being blocked. You cannot send information across unless both are being utilized. So, now, if something was to happen, and notice how it says fast 1 is the root port. Now, if I had another connection here, let me actually just add. Let me add here. Let me add a connection between this guy here, 3, and that guy. Now, type in show interface trunk. It hasn't actually. It's still going through its timers. What it's going through? There's 4 levels. There's blocking, listening, learning, and forwarding. By default, it's going to, if it's already an established, like this guy right here, if it's already an established circuit or connection between 2 switches, what will end up happening is it will only go through listening and learning. Or I'm sorry, if it's recently connected, it will go through just a listening and learning. It'll listen for BPDUs. A BPDU is like an ARP from switch to switch, saying, okay, this is me. I want to know about the rest of my topology. I want to know who else is out there. And it goes out there. It says, tell me who you are. Who else is out there? That's how CDP works. So we do this one more time, and because it's blocking. That's why. Now, really doesn't make a difference. So I'm going to kill this link right here. Put the X right over it. Goodbye. So we know that that's working. So we're going to come over here and we're going to write and be done with this guy. Close him out. Pull this guy up and say hello. And enable. We're going to do config T. Type in Vtp Mode client. There's 3 modes. There is you can configure all 3 of them: client, server, and transparent. Server is default. Client will only listen for, accept BPDUs, VTP updates. And once it hears about them, and if it's got a higher revision number, and I'll show you that here in a second, a higher revision number, what it'll do at that point is it will increment its current database up 1, because then it thinks that the newer database is newer update is better than what it already has, and then it'll forward that information onto the next switch if there is one. Transparent just says, okay, I will listen to it, I will look at it, I will even pick it up and throw it across the room, and then when I am done with it, I will pass it on to the next guy. But I will not take the information in it and update my own with it. So that's that. So VTP domain is Cisco, and VTP password is Cisco as well. So now we're going to type in end, show VLAN. Ta-da! There they are. So then there's that. We're going to do show spanning tree. Ta-da! There they are. So what we're going to do is, since we have 3 VLANs, we're going to click over here. We're going to click on an end device, and I'm going to put it over here. Click on this guy. Click on this guy. Pick a random. That's what I thought. Okay, it did go to VLAN 13. So once that goes in, we'll be okay. So what I'm going to do is on the switch, is I will tell it that we'll make the odd numbers 10 and 30 on this one, the root, and 20 over here as the root. So we're going to type in config t, we're going to type in spanning tree, root, let's put spanning tree VLAN, 10 and 30 root primary. That will change the priority, the bridge priority, or the root priority, to something lower than 32,768. And then we're going to type in is that, we're going to type in show VLAN, or show spanning tree. And now 10 is, this is the root for 10, and this is the root for 30. 20 is not the root for this guy. And there you have it. Even though it's, see, it's 24606, that's what it does. It lowers the priority down so that it makes this guy the root bridge. So now that that's been done, we're going to write and be done. Now, one thing that I haven't done is I show IP interface brief. Very handy command. On any layer 2 switch, you can only have one interface VLAN, and that is VLAN 1 or whatever VLAN number you want to give it, really. So we're going to type in config t, type in interface VLAN 1, and we're going to give it an IP address in the same subnet as this guy. And if I decide to do DHCP, I'll make sure to take that out of the what do you call it? DHCP pool. Type in 10.23.65.254 255.255.255.0. Oh. Scratch that. IP address 10.23.65.254.255.255.255.0. Done. End. Oop. There it is. Now I have manually shut down. Config T interface VLAN 1 no shut. There it comes up, and let's verify. Brief VLAN 1. Does it give me the option for interface? No. There it is. Ups to daisy. Couple things real quick. This guy right here is status. In real life it says line, meaning physically plugged in. Protocol means layer 2 is going across the link. So we're going to type in write and enter. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Give it an IP address in the same subnet. Type in show VLAN. I'm going to do show spanning tree. And currently, this is not the root bridge for anything. We're going to make it the root bridge for VLAN 20 though. Config T. Interface VLAN 1. Let's do that real quick. IP address is 10.23.65.253. 255.255. 255.255.0. No shut. Brings that guy up. We're going to type in exit. Type in spanning tree. VLAN 20 root primary. Now you can do the same thing, or you can put a priority, or priority, and you can specify a number in increments of 4096. So we don't have to do that because we already have. And then we're going to do show spanning tree, show span, and VLAN 20 is the root. That doesn't. Let's do show interface trunk. The reason it's not load balancing across is because there's no reason for it to do that. And we could configure it as a trunk, but I don't see a need for it. Now, spanning tree, generally, you don't have to be worried about too much. Now, if I remember correctly, and I'm going to go out here on a limb for just a second, if this guy was VLAN 20 as the root, and this was VLAN 20 over here, you would want to load balance across. But yeah, see, that's one thing you'd have to try to do. But it's not hard to get that to actually work. But you want to make sure that you keep whatever the majority of your switches plug into. You want to make that the root so that it's like priority. And then you're able to load balance. So right now they don't need to because they all have a connection to it. Now, if this guy went down, this guy would pick in. Now, that also brings me to another good point. Config T, type in spanning tree rapid, mode rapid. All of your switches need to be on the same type of configuration in that regard. They all have to be rapid or non-rapid, or just regular spanning tree. So we're going to type in right to bring that up. Bring this guy up here. And config T spanning tree mode rapid. That'll bring that down, and then it'll converge. Now, if I'll show you the convergence timer. It's actually really fast. Now it's already back up. I think I already did this guy. Can give this guy a IP address. Enable. I'm gonna do show IP interface brief. VLAN 1. Now you can have, on multi-layer switches, you can have multiple VLAN interfaces because of the fact that you're able to use a multi-layer switch to route without having to leave the switched environment and go to a router. So config T, type in interface VLAN 1. IP address is 10.23.65.252. 255.255.255.0. No shot. So now that brings that up. So that's pretty straightforward. Now we have configured VTP. We configured layer 2 switches as clients, domain as Cisco, password as Cisco, created multiple VLANs, verify replication. Actually, let me make sure of that real quick on this guy. And we're going to do end. Oops, you guys can't see that. Now I type in end and show VLAN. You can see it, they're replicating over and they're good to go. I'm going to do show interface trunk. And now I'm going to show you this stuff while I'm here. I'm going to config T, type in, what is that command? Is it Vtp? Yeah, it doesn't give me the version, maybe? 2, and we're typing. Oh, yeah, I'm already in client mode, so we're gonna config T, Vtp version is 2, Vtp. Yeah, it doesn't give me the option. In a full version of a switch, you'll have a prune, which means pruning will prevent the broadcast of a VLAN that is not on that switch from getting broadcasted to it. So if this guy doesn't have VLANs 10 and 30, then it won't accept VLANs 10 and 30 as updates to this. Now what you could do is you could go, I don't know if it's going to allow us to do this here. Exit. How does that work now? I'm going to do a interface config T interface fast 0/1 spanning tree, and then we're going to type in VLAN. Oh yeah, there you go. 10 and 30, and oh, maybe not. You can, well, now that I've opened this can of worms, it's that's way beyond the scope, but I will look into that one because I'm not 100% sure what that is. I know there's a way to. Is it Vtp mode or is it exit? Spanning tree. VLAN 10 and 30. Maybe is it under the trunk? I'm not sure now. I forgot. There's an allowed list you can have. I don't think this guy allows you to do it. Trying to think now. Now I don't remember. I don't know exactly. I don't know what the command is or where it is, but and show interface trunk. See where it says VLANs allowed on trunk? You can go and you can tell it what VLANs are allowed. But I think that's under Vtp. I think it's under, well actually let's go config t vtp domain, and yeah, it's Vtp Mode server, and yeah, it's, I don't remember now. VLAN 10 and 30. Oh, see, it's not going to let me do it that way. Exit VLAN database, and then Vtp So this is the other thing you can do, is you can set the this is no different than doing it in global config mode. Exit. Let's see here. VLAN database, and VLAN 10. Oh, you know what? I don't want that to happen. Let's see here. Exit and show interface trunk. Oh, it's still allowed. No, you see how it's allowed on both ports. Like if I didn't want VLAN 10 and 30 to be replicated down to this guy, I would prune it. And pruning is the fastest way and the easiest way and the least impact on the switch to do so. And then if I do a show spanning tree, you see how on the multi-layer switch that fast 1 is the root and fast 2 is designated. What? That's the first time I've ever seen that. Oh, duh. That's because of the fact that VLAN 30 is switch 0 is the root for that one, and fast 1 is receiving it, and their VLANs 10 and 30 they're on both switches. So this is the root on fast 1, and I'm sorry, the designated is always pointing towards that's weird. Oh, that's right, because this guy is VLAN 20. That's why. This is designated. This is always facing away from the root bridge. This guy is the root bridge. That's why I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, that's why. And this guy might be the root bridge for VLAN 1. And it is. This guy is the root bridge for VLAN 1. Which I wouldn't, because it's, well, that's how you would want it. But I just wanted to configure that, and that's about it. So I'm going to do a write to this guy, and a write, and type in end, write. Once I get my rack I will show you how the pruning works and how you can limit which VLANs can go across what and stuff like that, and go that direction. I just kind of wanted to go over another video with you and explain how that type of stuff works. That's just that one section. I've over explained a lot of this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and configure the other two networks real quick. You are welcome to watch. I'm going to do that. I'm going to blow this guy up and go from there. Now, they are not routing yet, and I haven't configured any of these. They're all still in VLAN 1. As you can see, none of them are in VLAN 10, 20, or 30. So, you can do VLAN access control and refuse a VLAN access to another switch or what have you, but there's no reason for that. Now, notice how this guy's orange right here? I'm going to kill this circuit right here. Everybody watch that orange circle turn to green. This guy's going to go into, yep, and there it goes. Now that's green, because that's how fast rapid spanning tree works. So we're going to figure this back here. Now it should flip back over. And it's going to. As soon as it thinks about it, and there it's back. So I just wanted to show you that while I had you. So, I'm going to configure this stuff real quick. Bring this stuff back in. Enable config T. We'll type in Vtp Mode server. Vtp domain is Cisco. Vtp pass Cisco. Type in VLAN 25, 41, and 11. I don't like to keep them all the same. I'm not going to name these. They're just going to be regular VLANs, so you guys can see a difference. And then, let's see here. And then we're going to go show IP interface. And we see that it's because this guy's currently shut down right now. 2 and 3 are my trunk ports. We're going to type in config T interface range fast 0/2 space 3. And then we type in switch port trunk, and we can type that because it'll take it as long as you know iOS knows what it is. Switch port mode trunk. Now that they're trunk connections, we're going to type in exit. We're going to type in spanning tree, mode rapid, and then let's see here. What else do I need to type in here? That should be it on this guy, because the VLANs are there, and then show VLAN. They're there. They're just not, because if you put this information in here, the name would take its place. Show spanning tree. There's your instances because there's a domain attached to it. Now there's trunking. That's another thing. I was trying to think, is there anything else? No. It actually goes really quick when you start getting good at it. I've done this 100 times, so I get pretty quick. We do show IP interface brief, and we know that 1 and 2 are it. So we can, and then we have to make sure that this is switch 4, so it's right here. So we know 2 is going to be an edge device. So we're going to type in config t, type in Vtp Mode client, Vtp domain is Cisco, Vtp password is Cisco, and then we're going to type in and show VLAN. There they are. That's pretty much all we need to worry about here. Oh, config t, spanning tree, mode rapid, and then end, and right. Oh, you know what? I'll come back to it at another time and make the root bridges a certain whatevers, because it really doesn't matter because there's no like extra connection in there. It doesn't really need the spanning tree thing set up because there's no way for it to loop. So I'm going to type in enable config t, type in Vtp mode server, or sorry, client, Vtp domain is Cisco, Vtp pass is Cisco, and type in spanning tree, mode rapid, and that's all I really have to do. That's already pretty much good to go. Thinking here. Is there anything else I need to worry about? No. That's it. Right? Yeah. That's that. I'll do this one real quick. As you can see, it only takes a couple minutes to do. Enable config t, Vtp mode server, Vtp mode, or domain is Cisco, Vtp server pass is Cisco, and then we're at spanning tree, mode rapid, VLAN, type in 2, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6. So we're good. We're going to put each one of these in a different VLAN. And actually we'll do VLAN 8. So that this guy will be a VLAN 2. And that's it. Oh, actually config t interface. Just noticed something I don't like. Oh, for whatever reason this guy was buggy. Range fast 0/2 space 3. Type in switchport trunk cap .1q switchport mode trunk. Type in exit and then spanning tree mode rapid. Spanning tree mode rapid, and shows spanning tree, show VLAN. There they are, they're all active. Hold on. And that should be pretty much about the end of it, I think. I had to go outstairs and let the dogs out. Didn't want my wife to wake up. And show run. Oh, I didn't put I haven't actually added anything in here that I really need, but when you initially set stuff up like this, you will need to set up the line VTY stuff for telnet and SSH, console password, that type of jazz. I will show you how that stuff works in a later video, but here it is. It's been 40 minutes almost and I'm still chatting. But this one, I wanted to get this out of the way because it's going to be 3 major networks, and I figured this way here at least to give you guys an idea. I'm going to close this one out, open this guy up, slide him over, click in here, and enable config T, Vtp Mode client, Vtp domain, Cisco, Vtp pass, Cisco, and then spanning tree mode rapid. That's it, because now it should be doing its thing, and then end right, and then now this is a application. It does have limitations. It's not, there's certain things that I'm not doing because it's not capable right now, but for the most part, if you were to be setting it up, it would be easier to whatchamacallit, if this was real devices, I'd have to do more because there'd be more to do. But in this case, you don't have to worry about it because the application doesn't support these things. So Vtp domain is Cisco, Vtp password is Cisco, spanning tree mode rapid, and that's all. I really don't have to do anything other than that because everything else is pretty much done. Now, when it comes to actually routing the VLANs and stuff like that, and putting VLANs or devices into VLANs, things of that nature, that'll take some time because of the fact of the amount of information that will be needed to be done. So basically, in a quick recap, I know it's been a few minutes, is we've configured VTP on all of these devices, all of these devices, and all of these devices, and spanning tree. So spanning tree and VTP are up, running, and functioning. We haven't routed VLANs yet. I'll explain how that works, and then, like I said, we'll go layer. We'll finish that up. We'll get layer 3 running, and then I'll show you how I'll show you how to route them. And then once I show you how to route the LAN side of it, I'll show you how to route from network or from LAN to LAN. Once I do the internal LAN, I'll show you how to route from here to here and how to do that. And then we'll do that. And then what I would like to do is I don't know if Packet Tracer is capable of, but actually doing like a tunnel from here to some other device. You know, from like tunnel from here to here, if it's possible. But that's something I would like to try. But I don't know if that's actually going to work or not. But that's it. I will try to come up with a strategy for some other labs so that you guys are able to follow along, and hopefully this will get me up to speed a little quicker, and I can move my date up closer to the end of this month rather than the beginning of next month for my test, because honestly I don't feel like waiting 3.5 weeks to take it. But those 3.5 weeks always seem to go by pretty fast, and I always start to stress out towards the end because obviously it's a big test. But as much as I've been studying for it, I'm not really too worried about it. So anywho, I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to thank you for viewing.